Leaving home sounds pretty scary. Imagine you leave off everything and decide to go somewhere really far. So, whatever country that you're right now, whatever city that you're right now, completely leave it off. You leave all your comfort, everything that you're used to, all the small things, all the big things, all your friends and family. You leave off everything to start a new life somewhere totally different. Really different from here. Because I'm not talking about, if you live in the US and you leave the US and you go start a life in Europe, for example. That's pretty much the same lifestyle. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking a drastic change. Like, let's say you live in the US and then you go to a third world country. So you leave off a first world country to a third world country. That's really different. Because over there, people are totally different. The language is totally different. The culture is totally different. The religion is totally different. The roads, the markets, everything is just totally different from what you're used to. Imagine that. Somewhere where the things we take for granted right now, like the clean food that we have, the clean water that we have, we don't even think about it. We just think it's just normal things. These things might not be widely available in that country. Imagine going to a country like that. Imagine going to a country where electricity is not constantly there like it's here over here. You get maybe a couple of hours each day. The internet that we're so used to, you're watching this video, we do everything on the internet. You scroll on TikTok, you go on X, you go on whatever, YouTube, all these social medias. Imagine somewhere where the internet is super expensive and really slow, and not everyone can afford it. Imagine that. But I also want you to imagine that, this life that we're living right now, we're never really supposed to live like this. Supposed to live all this comfort and all of this privilege that we have in our lives to begin with. Because here's a crazy fact. At this moment right now in 2025, we are living more comfortably than the biggest kings that walked this earth in the old times. Kings. I want you to imagine that. Kings that could have anything in a second. But did they? Could they really do that? They didn't have electricity. They didn't have the internet. And if they need a sort of knowledge, they would have to ask one of the people in the castle, and the person in the castle will have to do all of this research and then come back to the king after a couple of days and then give the answer to the king. But we could have all of our answers in a second using the internet, using electricity. So many privileges that we have compared to the biggest of people in the old ages. So all that to say, sometimes it's good to reset. It's good to reset and get outside of our bubble. The bubble that we created for ourselves, the bubble full of comfort, that we're so comfortable and so used to all the things, all the privileges and all the things that we take for granted. And this bubble is created by our surrounding, the people that support us, the first world countries that we live in. Seeing how life is different out there, seeing how life is different out there and getting out of your bubble will hopefully make you and I appreciate more what we have in life right now. And maybe removing you from this bubble that we're talking about can also remove you from the slump that you're experiencing. These constant thoughts and these constant negative thoughts and of you being lazy, not wanting to do anything, just saying everything's boring, everything is the same, every day is the same, I don't want to do anything, I feel lazy, I feel unproductive. Maybe these poor countries, maybe these poor countries will cure you of this blindness that you're experiencing and finally open your life and finally open your life and finally open your and finally open your eyes to and finally open your eyes to life. You'll get this new sense of energy and appreciation for life, and you'd want to start doing new things. Because imagine that if you're in this bubble and you're just so used to everything and nothing is changing and everything just so boring, then your engine is not running. You don't feel productive because you don't have to. You're just too comfortable. But imagine taking you out of this comfort and placing you somewhere where you're totally uncomfortable and you have to move. You have to do something because you're not used to the place. You have to do something to live, to eat, to drink. So because you're starting this engine and now you have the momentum of the engine running, then you could use that to fuel your productivity. So with that, you could finally start being productive and finally accomplish the goals you've always wanted to. And maybe, going into these poor countries, maybe you would even find the love of your life. Who knows? Maybe you'll settle down, you'll be happy, you'll start a family. Maybe right now you just think, I'd never go to a country like that. That'd be impossible for me. I cannot do that. But who knows? Who knows what's in your destiny and where you'll actually find your happiness. Maybe all this joy for you, maybe you have this great joy for you waiting outside of your bubble. Maybe you have all these positive things. Maybe. So go try out your maybe. And who knows? And see what's waiting for you. And maybe your bet might just pay off. So go try it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.